In Genesis 15, God makes a covenant with Abram, promising him numerous descendants and the land of Canaan. However, despite this promise, Abram still remains childless. We will see Abram take matters into his own hands. And in chapter 18, 3 visitors come to Abram and announces that within a year, his wife Sarah will give birth to a son. This encounter serves as further confirmation of Yahweh's promise and sets the stage for the fulfillment of his promise in later chapters. I'm Dr. Ray, and welcome to this week's Hosea International Speaks. We will be concluding the blood covenant Yahweh made with Abraham. This is the foundation to all believers. The blood covenant established between Yahweh and Abram in Genesis 15 has profound implications for believers worldwide. Through this covenant, Yahweh promised to give Abram and his descendants the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession, establishing Abraham as the father of the Israelite nation and confirming Yahweh's commitment to his people. In Genesis 15, God made a covenant with Abram, promising to give him and his descendants the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession. This event has significant religious and historical implications for the Jewish people, as it symbolizes the establishment of their relationship with Yahweh as his chosen people. The blood covenant of Genesis 15 also represents the fulfillment of Yahweh's promise of a land and a nation to Abraham and his descendants. This event is considered a cornerstone of Jewish identity and is remembered in Jewish history as a testament to Yahweh's faithfulness and love for his people. The significance of Yahweh giving the land of Canaan to Abraham is that it represents God's promise of a permanent home and abundant blessings for Abraham and his descendants. This act of Yahweh, which was later confirmed by a blood covenant, established a special relationship between Yahweh and Abraham's descendant, who were to be known as Yahweh's chosen people. The covenant also symbolizes God's faithfulness and his commitment to fulfill his promise to his people. The blood covenant further underscores the seriousness and importance of this promise, serving as a reminder of the sanctity and unbreakable nature of the relationship between Yahweh and his people. This covenant was established through a ritual in which Abraham cut animals in half and Yahweh passed between the two, symbolizing that if he failed to keep the terms of the covenant, he would be cut off just like the animals. This act of cutting a covenant was a common practice in the Near East and represented a binding agreement, which we saw last week and the previous week, between two parties. The significance of this covenant lies in Yahweh's promise to Abraham to provide him with a land and a descendant who would become a great nation. The promise established Abraham's status as the father of the Israelite people and confirmed Yahweh's commitment to them as his chosen people. The covenant also played a crucial role in shaping the identity and self-understanding of the Israelites, who saw themselves as the inheritors of the land promised to Abraham and his descendants. In addition to its historical and cultural significance, the covenant with Abraham has also been interpreted in various ways by different religious traditions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and is considered to be a foundational moment in the religious history of the region. Where in the Talmud, though, do you say that Israel and the land are one? Because this question does come up. The concept that Israel and the land are one is expressed in several places in the Talmud, a central text of rabbinic Judaism. One of the most famous statements of this idea is found in the Babylonian Talmud tractate Sanhedrin, page 11b or 110b or 110b. And we read Rabbi Avika says, the land of Israel is acquired through suffering, the holy temple is acquired through merit, and the world to come is acquired through acts of kindness. Rabbi Yochanan says, why is the land of Israel called the land of Canaan? Because it is acquired through kanaut, or that Hebrew word means zeal. And Rabbi Avika says, why is it called the land of Israel? And he says, because it's acquired through teshuvah, or repentance. And they both say the land and the people of Israel are one. This statement underscores the idea that the land of Israel and the people of Israel are inextricably linked, and that the faith of one is tied to the faith of the other. This idea reflects the centrality of the land of Israel to the Jewish people and the belief that their relationship with the land is a critical component of their identity and connection to Yahweh. The idea that the people of Israel and the land of Israel are closely entwined is a central theme in Jewish thought, and is expressed in many places throughout the Talmud, which is an extensive writing on the Torah. That's the central text of rabbinic Judaism. Another example of this idea can be found in the Babylonian Talmud in tractate Kedushin, where it is stated, the land of Israel is acquired through suffering, or the Hebrew word galut, as it is written, you shall inherit the land by your sword, by your bow, and by your arrow. And we can find that writing in Obadiah chapter 1, verse 17. And just as the land of Israel was acquired through suffering, so also the people of Israel cannot be redeemed from the diaspora unless they endure suffering. That is their thoughts. This passage expresses the idea that the land of Israel and the people of Israel are closely connected, and that one cannot be redeemed without the other. It is a source of spiritual and physical blessing for those who dwell there. In this way, the Talmud emphasizes the centrality of the land of Israel to Jewish identity and spirituality, and underscores the idea that the people of Israel and the land of Israel are linked. This will bring us to the conclusion of this third section of Genesis, in which Yahweh had called Abraham out from his father's house, that a new lineage would begin with Abraham. And this takes us into the next section of Genesis. This is the fourth division of Genesis, which Yahweh appears to not just Abraham, but also to Sarah. This fourth division is called Vayera. This word, Hebrew word, means to appear. It is the appearance of Yahweh. The phrase is found in Genesis chapter 18, verse 1, which says, and Yahweh appeared to him at the terebinth of Mamre, or the tree there. Yahweh was coming to Abraham at the place of covenant. And the reason for appearing to both him and Sarah is because both parties are involved. Before we can go any further with this couple, let's go back about 13 or 14 years with the birth of Ishmael, which Abraham thought would be his seed to inherit what he had. But this was just jumping the gun by both Abraham and Sarah. Sarah and Abraham were beyond procreation days, and so Sarah decided to give her handmaiden, Hagar, to Abraham as a wife. Sarah's words was, behold, now Yahweh has restrained me from bearing. This word restrain paints a picture possibly of being in anguish and in distress, as well as being shut up internally. And because of this, Sarah gave Abraham her handmaid to wed and have children by her. And as we know, this was a mistake because Yahweh's word was that he would have offspring. Abraham would have offspring. And this was spoken to him prior to Hagar coming into the household. When Hagar did give birth, Sarah was then despised in the sight of those around. Now, the picture that is painting here is that Sarah was made light of, or because she was unable to have children, she didn't carry much weight around the campsite, if you want to say so, and that she might have even been cursed. And from this, we'll call this adventure, Abraham was the result. This would come back to be a burden even upon us, even to this present day, because Ishmael is the father of the Arab nation. We're going to pick up from here next week with Yahweh appearing to both Abraham and Sarah, because it is them, both of them, that God wishes to bring the promise that he had given to Abraham some 25 years prior. Now, if you enjoyed this week's session, go ahead and hit the like button, or if you have any questions, you can email me at hoseainternational@yahoo.com or hoseaintspeaks@gmail.com. And if you would like to be notified when we go live each Wednesday, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and we will notify you as soon as we go live. I'm Dr. Ray, and I'll see you next week on Hosea International Speaks.